What's up, guys? Welcome into the Packers Total Access pregame show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Tim live in Green Bay. Emilio is probably still asleep in his race car bed, I'm sure. He might hop on here in a minute.
But it's a freaking sweet race car bed, though.
Exactly. Oh, man. Let's give a shout-out real quick to the good folks over at Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Wisconsin-based since 92. They specialize in Packers tickets. They're Wisconsin's largest ticket source. Got offices next to Lambeau and in Milwaukee. You can click on the link in the video description. That'll send you over to their website, theticketking.com, and go ahead and start shopping for your Packers tickets. Again, that is Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. So, Tim, obviously, man, getting closer to kickoff. A lot of build-up here. A couple live shots coming in from around the stadium. Everybody kind of getting geared up, man. This is going to be a fun one. Wayne Larrivee earlier today already tweeted out. This was, like I said, quite a time ago. This is probably an hour and a half ago. Getting started early here at Lambeau. As you can see, the parking lot's getting full. Everybody tailgating. I know you've been a part of that multiple times, probably countless times, I should say. But really cool to see everybody's pictures coming in. Cloud 6 of Jellyfish Brigade on Twitter. Pops and I just pulled up the Lambeau. It's so cool to see father-son out there having a couple daddy sodas for breakfast and get ready for the game, man. You love to see it, but nothing like Lambeau in October in the fall, and how fitting that it's a cloudy, dreary, little rainy day up there in Titletown, man.
I love it, man. Seems like a great day to run the ball. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying, man. Although I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if LaFleur does come out and surprise us a little bit with winging the thing around the yard. You know, Jordan, I want to see him perform in a rain game, you know, because the first thing that comes to mind for me, Tim, is obviously the San Francisco game. And listen, that was a downpour when they took the field on that final drive in San Fran out there in the playoffs. And he's got, you know, one of the big points of him coming out of college was his hand size, being able to grip the football when it's wet, when it's cold, that type of thing. So I wouldn't mind to see it raining and jump out to an early lead, but Jordan come out and maybe throw for $3 too. But I'm with you. You can't depend on that on first down and coming out of the gate, because if you do, you might dig yourself in a hole. And the reality is this is the third most explosive offense in the league with the Arizona Cardinals when you talk about explosive rates at 12.4% explosive rate. That's runs of 10 yards or more or passes of 20 yards or more. So I'm trying not to take the bait for passing, and I need you to keep reminding me, Clayton, we need to run the damn football. So
I'm sure the chat will have no problem doing that. As we got Holmes in the chat, pound the damn rock. There's a reminder right there, Clay.
And let's see here. Badger Trio, loyal listener, sent us this shot from Lambeau, my man out there early as the stadium's starting to file in. Pretty cool. Appreciate the picture there. Badger Trio, look like you got darn good seats today.
Yeah, love that.
Absolutely awesome.
Packer side of the field. You got to love it.
Yeah, definitely, man. Facing the G. And then, of course, Paul Calvisi, I hope I'm saying that correctly, covers the Arizona Cardinals, I believe. Arizona Cardinals team buses rolling into Lambeau Field as they pulled up there earlier today.
Right on time to catch that L.
Making good time, going nowhere. Now, Wes Hawkowitz tweeted this gem out. Today's Packers game day program features quarterback Jordan Love. So maybe they're trying to tell us something, Tim, or maybe they're trying to send a little smoke screen and Jordan come out and throw 12 times and then run the ball 73, right?
Here's a guy.
That's a nice program though there, man. Wes Hawkowitz, you can just tell he's a fan at heart. I love the way he tweets, man. It's awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love the way he covers the team too. And you know, him and Spofford, man, that we're lucky. We've got some really good in-house media, not just you know, Wayne Larrivee and Larry the Rock McCarron with John Kuhn, but we got good old Wes and Mike Spofford as well. So shout out to the boys over there at 1265. We appreciate the work.
Definitely. And Wes Hawkowitz tweeted this out at 8:46 Eastern time. So this was 7:46 Central. Got to the stadium early. Look at that sunrise. Obviously before the cloud cover rolling in. And, man, look at that place. It doesn't get any better. Does not get any better. So obviously they had to –
field all tarped off. I like it.
Yeah.
To be in good shape today.
Yeah, and we'll try to get you guys and gals an update on the weather before we get to kickoff here to see if anything's changed. Last we heard, it was going to be somewhere between 70 to 80% chance of rain basically for the first half. We'll see if that's adjusted. Now, it does look gloomy out there, does look cloudy now. Again, this was earlier today from Wes Hogwitz where that cloud cover hadn't rolled in yet. And then also, Titletown tweeted this out, man. Fall in love is what it said. It says, fall in love with game day. Obviously, we'll mute it because of the music, but look at Titletown. The leaves turning up there in Green Bay. Just a really, really cool setting, man. If you guys haven't been to Titletown yet, I'm amazed at how many people still haven't seen it, or some people that go up for the game and they'll travel like I used to, 12, 14 hours, and they won't even have a chance to really take in Titletown. They'll stay in Appleton, they'll come up for the game, and then they head back out. It's like, man, you really, really need to gear a vacation around spending time in Titletown. It's amazing. It's
so true. You got to give yourself time to really take it all in. My pops was up, for the last preseason game, his first time at Lambeau in a number of years. And we didn't get to see much at Titletown. So I'm hoping next week when he comes up for a visit, probably get over there, spend some time just walking around, checking it out. It's a great time of year, dude. Fall in Green Bay is amazing. Fall anywhere in Wisconsin is amazing. But Titletown, you got to check it out. Probably only a few weeks away from that skating rink coming out here. Before you know it, we'll be ice skating out at Titletown and tubing down Arians Hill and checking out all the cool stuff they got going there. The program that they have, there's constantly activities year round at Titletown. Always something to do, whether it's game day or not. So make sure you check it out for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's see. Omer says, what's the weather looking like, guys? So the latest update, I just clicked on the weather channel, and here's what we got, gang. 1 o'clock my time is kickoff, so that's what it's set to, I'm sure, with my location. But it says 1 o'clock, so kickoff, 91% chance of rain, 8-mile-an-hour winds. The temperature is supposed to be 49 degrees, all right? By 2 o'clock, the showers are down to 39% with 9-mile-an-hour winds. By 3 o'clock my time, which will probably be the fourth quarter, cloudy, only a 15% chance of rain, but the winds have picked up to 11 miles an hour, west-northwesterly wind there. So there is your Weather Channel update.
Perfect time. The winds will be blowing a little west, just in time for Arizona to get on that plane, fly back home, carrying that L with them. It'll work out just great.
Absolutely. And our good buddy Rob Westerman tweeted this out. He's in the house today, evidently, unless he's got boots on the ground there for his pod. He tweeted this out. And just a beautiful shot of Lambeau as the fans were starting to file in as soon as the gates opened. I guarantee you he was the first one in the stadium there. Nick McSwain in the house says, do y'all think they let Tuck Norris rip a dart during halftime, Tim? What do you think, man? You think
that ain't no problem. Well,
I love the old pictures from the NFL films of the guys in the locker room making the game plan, the halftime adjustment, and they've got lung darts or smoking. One of them might have a beer. It's awesome how it used to be, man.
I'll tell you what, Tuck Norris does what Tuck Norris wants. That's all I'm going to say, whether they let him or not. I think if he needs a Busch Latte and a lung dart, he's going to find a way to get one.
No doubt. He ain't going to be denied, man. Just like that yak, right?
That's right.
He's not going to be denied. Let's see. Mr. Larry in the house. Good game day morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Mr. Larry. Appreciate you swinging through, sir. Venom Slash, it's game day. You got it. We got iRock in the house. Go Pack Go. We got John in the house. Go Pack Go, man. Everybody filing in. This is going to be a fun game. I really believe.
Heard it from a fan right here.
It could turn into an explosive game, but also I think Kyler Murray's going to give you some opportunities to be able to pick the ball off.
Oh, yeah.
Like we talked about, you got to keep him in the well, make him throw from within the well of the pocket. That's going to be a huge just a huge task for the Packers today, man. You've got to make that happen, Tim. Got to keep him in that pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about pressure, pick, coverage, sack, right? It's more important to get that pressure, keep him contained, and our coverage, holds their own. And we know Kyler's going to throw one of them up there at some point today. And I'm fully confident our secondary is going to handle their business. Looking for another pick from Mr. McKinney. So keep your eyes open for that one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Trying to just comb through here. I know we got the actives, inactives, so let's go ahead and hit that real quick. As Paul Brittle tweeted this out. Let me drop that comment down. Bang. And let's go ahead and stop that screen as well, the background. So here are your Packers inactives. Paul Brittle tweeted out. Oladapo, Brenton Cox Jr., Andre Dillard, Travis Glover, Fitzpatrick, and Devontae Wyatt. What does that mean? Christian Watson, Jaire Alexander, and Rasheed Walker are all playing today. So absolutely huge that you've got Christian Watson and Jaire Alexander back. And Tim, like you pointed out to me, man, in the pregame or before we went live, I should say, if Rasheed Walker doesn't play, can anybody tell me who our left tackle is?
Yeah, that was like my that was like some of the best news right there, was seeing Rasheed Walker's going to go, because I don't know who they shuffle around. I guess my gut would tell me Zach Tom goes to the left side, because I mean, we talk about how hard it is to go from right tackle to left tackle. If there's anyone in the league that can do it, it's probably Zach Tom. Either that, or they, I don't know, do they kick Elton Jenkins to left tackle and, move someone in at left guard? Who knows? Luckily, we don't have to answer those questions today, because our boy Sheed Walker will be out there protecting J Money's blind side. So happy about that. Little disheartened that Devontae Wyatt's not going to go, so we'll see a little bit of a hit on our D line. But man, how can you not be excited about these actives? We were kind of up in the air on was Scoot going to go or not. I was leaning towards Watson not playing. Great to see that he's active, and of course, our boy Mr. Ja Money back in the lineup as predicted.
No doubt about it, man. So I'm excited to see that unfold for sure. Getting those guys back in the lineup and seeing what they can do. We've got a background update. This came in from the Loft. You guys heard of me talk about the Loft a lot. When I go to Packer games, my spot that I love to watch the game from is up in the suites. And we typically get the one in the end zone. I'm trying to think of which end zone it would be. Probably it's the Titletown side end zone. Would that be north or south, Tim?
North end zone.
North. So the north end zone is typically where I'm at, and it's because you get access to the Loft. If you guys are going, what the heck's the Loft, Clayton? So when you sit in that section there, basically what they give you access to is the roof, and it's right underneath the scoreboard on that side. They got concessions up there and everything. That's your shot.
Oh, that's beautiful.
If it didn't get so crowded up there, Tim, I would watch the entire ball game from up there, because you can see it's like watching all 22 the entire game. It is phenomenal. And you kind of step over to the edge, back into the left here. And Rob Westerman tweeted this out too, by the way. But if you go to the back left portion of where this photo is taken from, beautiful shot of Green Bay, colors turning, all that stuff on the leaves. It's just absolutely awesome, man.
You gotta love it. And you're right, right by that clock there. That's on Lombardi time all the time. Gotta love it.
So Aaron Rodgers, thanks for swinging through there, Mr. Celebrity, with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, question for y'all. I'm from Cali, so I am wondering what weather should I expect for Green Bay versus San Francisco, November 24th, first time at Lambeau. It could be a couple of different things, Aaron. It could be a day like today that's in the 40s/50s and raining. But, Tim, it's not out of the realm of possibility that a snowstorm blow through in November either, right? So I would tell him pack for July and pack for Siberia. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I would just lean. If he's from Cali, he's going to be cold either way. You're going to be cold up here, and you can always take layers off. It's a little tougher to add them. So bring plenty. Yeah, I would go with Clayton's advice. Prepare for Siberia and hope that you don't have to be fully bundled up for the game. I can tell you, though, a good pair of socks and a decent pair of good shoes or boots to keep your toesies warm. That's going to be the killer when you're sitting on those bleachers. You got your feet on concrete. It gets cold. Toes will take you out of the game before anything else. So keep your feet warm, and obviously a good hat. But yeah, Clayton, you're absolutely right, man. We could it could be unseasonably warm in November around that time, or yeah, we could have 3 feet of snow on the ground. You never know. It's Wisconsin. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, it'll change. So be prepared for everything when you come up, for sure.
Absolutely. Again, thank you for the super chat there, Aaron Rodgers. Appreciate you, sir. Jay Cole says, Tim, how's the parking at Lambeau? I will be at the Niners game. And Aaron, bring a jacket and gloves, bro. It's a night game. It may start off good, but can get cold. But that depends on how many of those daddy sodas you've had too, Tim. Sometimes as the weather drops and the daddy sodas start flowing like the geese of Capistrano, all of a sudden you're not cold anymore. It's funny how that works out. But what do you think about the parking there at Lambeau? What advice do you have for Jay?
So parking is if you don't have a parking pass, which you probably don't. You're not going to park in any of the Lambeau lots unless you're able to procure one, maybe from the internet vibes. You might be able to grab one from someone who's not attending the game. Otherwise, plenty of street parking in the neighborhoods surrounding Lambeau. If you're to the south, you'd be in the Ashwaubenon side. Lots of parking in the area. Look up my old favorite, Kastner Drive. You can always park on the street, walk right in to Lambeau. Otherwise, you can also park on the streets north of Lombardi Avenue, which is, north of the north end zone in the neighborhoods over there. And you can walk in there. There's also driveway parking. A lot of homeowners and people that live in the area, they will sell spots in their driveway. Some places as low as $20 to park. Yep, here you go. Home says you can park in someone's yard for $40. Usually the closer you get to Lambeau, the more pricey the parking may be. And also depending on how big the person's yard or driveway is, they may charge a premium if they only have a few spots. I would recommend getting there early, at least, 2.5, 3 hours before kickoff. Find yourself a good spot to park. And it's not too bad of a walk into Lambeau. But as far as parking in the lots, you would need a Lambeau Field parking pass for any of those.
Definitely. And, my first time going to Green Bay, long time ago, obviously, but I parked in someone's yard. I thought it was an awesome experience. Now, listen, that was back in 2003, the first time I went to Lambeau. And we just happened to find someone. Hey, yeah, I think it was at the time it was $20, I believe. And we were really close to Lambeau. Of course, you're talking about 20 years ago. It's crazy how time flies. Yep. But parked there when we parked too. I'm not saying this is normal. This was our experience, and this is really what sold me on being a Packers fan back then. Was the guy said, "Yeah, man, park right here. Here, turn around so we can get you out in case you need to leave," type thing. Just really, really considerate rather than just stuffing us into this yard where we couldn't get our car out to the end. And also, he said, also during the game, we're going to be out here. They had a sofa and a chair in their front yard with a TV, so they were watching the game in the front yard, right next to Lambeau. And he said, when I say right next, it might have been 1 or 2 streets over. They could definitely hear the crowd noise in the PA. And He said, also, if we'll be here all day, we're going to be grilling and stuff. If you need to use the restroom, feel free to go in the house. The door will be unlocked. It was just like, what is this place? Was my reaction. It's just unbelievable. Now, things may have changed now, 20 years, obviously, but it was just a really cool experience. So the other thing,
of that vibe still exists, though. There's a lot of that mentality. The other thing I forgot to mention, I forgot who had that the question. Oh, J. Cole here had the question about parking. The city of Green Bay has free bus shuttles on game days. There's different routes all throughout the city. So if you're from out of town and you're staying in a hotel, your hotel may offer shuttle service to Lambeau, or at least close to Lambeau. If not, the free shuttles are city buses. The game day routes are available online, so make sure you check that out. You can always hop on a bus. You can also go to your favorite local watering hole or adult beverage drinking establishment, and there are shuttle buses to games as well. So if you don't want to deal with the parking, you can definitely get on a free shuttle, which is probably a good idea if you're doing a little bit of drinking. Let someone else do the driving.
No doubt. Now, when I go to games now, it's a planned event. It really is. We try to go up once a year. We didn't make it last year, but we stay at the Lodge Kohler. And listen, it's pricey. I get it. I understand that not everyone can afford to do that. And that's like my you see a lot of families, Tim, they'll take cruise vacations. They'll take vacations to the Bahamas. They'll go to Hawaii. Yeah. That's my choice of a vacation. December, Lambeau Field. And we stay at the Lodge Kohler, and literally we always plan it ahead where we can get a Lambeau view room. So we're just staring at Lambeau Field. And during that time, too, it's really cool because they have the Christmas cartoons playing on the side of the facade. We always make sure we got a view of that. So ain't nothing better than getting in after hanging out all day in and around Lambeau Field and then coming in, because we typically make it a 7-day stay, and we'll go just hang out by the window, have coffee. It's colder than a well digger's rear end outside, and we're sitting there watching the Christmas cartoons on the facade of Lambeau. It's just absolutely
That's a great plan. And then you don't have to worry about Ubering or driving anywhere. You're already in the heart of the action. I mean, it makes that little bit more of an investment in the nicer hotel room there. It makes it worth it because you're basically right in the middle of everything. And there's not a bad spot over there near Titletown too. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah, really. And there's other hotels that are cheaper than the Lodge Kohler that are within walking distance too, like when we flew into town last year, we only had the Lodge Kohler for 3 nights. So before that, we stayed at some kind of suites hotel. That
Probably
was
Spring Hill.
Yep, Spring Hill. That was it.
Yeah.
Really nice place, man. Really cool. And it was within walking distance, even though it was cold outside. I really enjoyed the walk over. So if you go that route too, you don't have to worry about parking. Obviously, you park at the hotel. That's a cool setup. So I know it's pricey staying at the hotels, but when you take into consideration the price of parking, the convenience of being able to – one thing I loved about the Lodge Kohler is watching the pregame show, NFL Network pregame show at the Lodge Kohler, and then just walking over into the stadium is just – it's awesome. So Fox Sports NFL tweeted this out. May have some football weather at Lambeau Field for today's game. You can see the rain flying as the fans are trying to get into some dry area of the stadium before everything gets kicked off here. So, man, I tell you, these guys are really wanting to use our channel. That's how you know you made it, Tim, when you got people in here spamming you, trying to get their links out in your chat. So maybe if you didn't spam people, you could get somebody to tune into your channel. I'm just saying.
You heard it from a fan right here.
So expect the rain, like I said, I think at least in the first quarter, possibly the first half is what it's looking like. So according to Fox NFL Sunday. So let's do this. Let's just kind of pop up on the screen here and take another look at the PFF preview as far as the PFF grades and kind of how everything is shaking out. I'll try to get it to where we can adjust it and see it a little bit better here. That might be better. Let's go full screen with it. Heck with it. All right, so let's start off again, Tim. I'm just going to throw our offense up. You're going to see their defense. Let's go with their nickel personnel. That's what we're going to be in the most is 11 personnel. The big thing here, you got a couple guys on the front in Collins and Gardeck that look like they're playing pretty good ball. Outside of that, you got Budda Baker. But, man, these corners on the outside, this might be the day to try to test that out too. Now, you got to be careful gripping the football, obviously. Got to be really, really cautious of that because you let one get away from you. When you miss on an out route or a hitch, that's a pick six, right?
Yep. And you know what? This is going to be one of those games where every single mistake could tilt the balance. Turnovers in this game are going to be everything, especially if it's going to be sloppy out there. I believe the team that protects the football the best is going to get the dub. Yeah.
And when you look at the offenses, matching up here, you're starting to see these PFF grades rise a little bit, right? People kind of coming into a little bit better standing across the league. As you see, Josh Jacobs is now an 80.5, right? He's 6th highest graded halfback in the entire National Football League right now. I think we would all agree that was a great signing there if you weren't going to bring back Aaron Jones. Now, Jordan Love sitting at a 62.2. He's now up to 25th. We know he started off rocky. He's starting to kind of come into his own. Obviously, he had the pick six last week. You take away that pick six last week off that crazy throw where he gets a defender coming off the edge unblocked. It was a throwback design to where that was going to be his blind side. And whether it was Rasheed Walker or Josh Jacobs' fault, they had 2 guys to block 2 guys, and they were unable to do that. One came free and hit Jordan. Not trying to come up with an excuse for Jordan, but that specific play wasn't just, man, that's all on Jordan Love there. That was definitely a team effort botching the heck out of that. I know Kurt seemed to think that Tucker Kraft kind of gave up on his little release route here. It was max protect with the Y leak. I didn't really see it that way, but I can see how someone could look at it like, man, if he's got to fight to knock that ball down and not sit down in that zone. You got to work your way to the sideline. I kind of get that. But you're seeing Jordan Love I think that grade's going to continue to go up just like it did last year. When you look at the offensive line matched up against their defensive line, I like the way we're sitting here, Tim. Obviously, Elton Jenkins is great at pass blocking. If they do play Collins on his side of the line, and whether he's a 1 or a 3 tech, you would like to see him over there. And then, of course, if they keep Gardeck over there at left outside linebacker or left edge over top of Tom, I don't worry too much about that. How do you feel about the Packers being able to protect for Jordan Love today?
Oh, I agree. I think, we're going to need games out of Big E and Zach Tom for sure. But I also look at, Josh Myers and Sean Ryan there kind of in the middle. This is going to be a good opportunity for these guys to put together a decent ball game today. I think, you look at Collier, you look at, Thomas on the right side. Collins is going to be a concern, but I don't see a scenario where we have difficulty giving Jordan time to get rid of the football today, especially if we commit to running the ball too early and often. So I think we're set up with this whole line. I'm glad Rasheed Walker is going to go today, and I don't think it's more than we can handle. I'm certainly, like you said, I'm not worried about Zach Tom dealing with Gardeck over there at all. And I think actually, Collins against Jenkins there on the left side will be a matchup to keep your eye on for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Ballroom Blitz with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. We appreciate you. I think this might be Ryan Schlip's burner account, actually. We'll see. I don't know. It says, Ryan Schlip will have a chat on Substack during the game. You don't need to pay for now. It is free for now. That's awesome, guys. So go jump on that. That's a good way to kind of chat here.
How about that?
Good way to kind of chat there during the game. Ryan Schlip, Pack Daddy here from Packernet Podcast. So make sure you check that out. And Ballroom Blitz, thank you so much for that dono there, bud. We really appreciate you, man. That's very generous of you. So, the other thing, too, we'll have our post-game show link up as soon as we end this. I try to get it created so you can hop in there and chat a little bit, too. But like I say, if Ryan's doing a live stream on Packernet's YouTube channel, that's the place to be. If he's not live streaming there, make sure you check out that Substack, as it seems like it is free at the moment. So, Ballroom Blitz, thank you so much, buddy. We appreciate you supporting. Also in the chat here, Holmes MD1 says Telfort would play for Sheed. I could see that. I kind of feel like Andre Dillard is the backup tackle for Sheed, but obviously Andre Dillard is inactive today, I believe, if I remember correctly. So maybe Telfort has passed him up at the backup left tackle spot. That could be the case. J. Cole says, Tim, how was the parking at Lambeau? We already hit that one, didn't we?
Yeah, we got that one.
Sorry about that. Blake B says the bar Holmgren Way is a good parking spot if you want to bar hop beforehand instead of outdoor tailgate. And that's a great idea there too, Blake. Just kind of hit all the spots on your way over to what's it called? Armed Forces Drive. Is that right, Tim?
Yeah, right along. Basically, yeah, it's between Armed Forces Drive and Mike McCarthy Way on Holmgren Way there. You got the bar right next to Stadium View, infamous Stadium View. Everybody knows about Stadium View. Another great spot to check out pregame, during the game, after the game, any day, really. Some really underrated and underappreciated cheese curds. Shout out to Stadium View. But the bar is a good spot too, directly south of Stadium View. Huge parking lot too. I don't know how they do their game day parking or what the scenario is, but I'm willing to believe if you got there early enough, hopped in for some Bloody Marys and some little breakfast cheese curds, you could probably get in and get you a parking spot over there too, and all within walking distance for sure of Lambeau.
Definitely. All right, so if we go to our base set, Tim, and we talked about how the Arizona Cardinals, they are kind of struggling to cover 12 personnel there. That was one of their worst EPA allowed as far as on the defensive side of the ball. So when we go to 12 personnel, obviously Ben Sims is going to step in there for Luke Musgrave, who's now on the IR. We also elevated Beck, the fullback. The more I thought about it, Tim, I know we were talking 21 personnel. When I woke up this morning and grabbed a cup of coffee, I was like, they'll probably play him at the wing rather than in the backfield. You remember like Josiah DeGuara, we were always talking about how that's the fullback. And we tried it early on in his tenure, and then they just finally gave up on it and just started playing him kind of as the wing and as the U there. Yeah. I could see that being the same thing with the fullback who was activated. But in a perfect world, you don't even have to march him out on the field, right? You want Sims and Kraft out there. So if you go 12 personnel, Sims is right now currently at a 51.2. When you go to their base look now, their interior defensive linemen with Collier, Lopez, and Nichols, 45, 55, 45. I mean, really, really bad grades across the board there defensively. Their edge defender is pretty solid, with Collins being the 17th highest graded edge defender at 78. And then, of course, Gardeck, like we talked about, a 69.3. Inside linebackers, nothing to write home about either, man. As you see here, Kazir Watt having a bad year, 41.2. That looks to be his career low. You can look at that two different ways, though. When someone's having a career low year, it's like, okay, they're due to break out of that. But at the same time, you can't deny the fact that momentum goes both ways. If you're struggling like that, it could be setting up to continue to struggle, I guess you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like you said about fullback, it's been a while since the Packers have ran with a fullback on offense, right? We probably got to go back to the John Kuhn days to really utilizing a true fullback. So I agree. I think, having one in the lineup doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be back there. I don't think we're going to run, I formation or anything crazy like that. I would look for him kind of like you said, maybe playing attached or used in a little bit different way. It does make Arizona's game planning a little interesting, though, because they see what we see too, right? They know we activated a fullback. This could be smoke and mirrors too. Like you said, Clayton, maybe the weather's saying we should run, the metrics are saying we should run, and good old Tupac LaFleur is back there like, man, we're going to air this ball out today. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely, man. We got a couple shots coming in here we got to hit. We got X warming up before the game. Let me drop this down real quick, and let's see what we got going on here. It's pretty cool. You can kind of see the weather, the rain flying. It ain't bothering Xavier McKinney today. I promise you that, man. My man is in the zone, getting ready for kickoff here. Obviously,
Here's the guy.
As the Packers and the Cardinals get closer to kickoff, we're now sitting at 11:04 Central Time, so less than an hour from kickoff. We got our inactives in. We'll continue to hit on the PFF preview, but Xavier McKinney, man, doing things that I'm getting to the point. Every week I get closer to seeing no other safety has ever done in Green Bay. And that's wild to think about when you think of Charles Woodson coming through in the epic run he had. Obviously a first ballot Hall of Famer, and rightfully so. Xavier McKinney got a long way to go before he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But the season he's putting together, man, this is historic. If he gets another interception today, Tim, I'm just going to stop harnessing it and turn the whole hype train loose from my perspective.
And, you mentioned Charles Woodson. I mean, it's a guy that I kind of compared X to as far as his influence on this defense. And, Woody's out there publicly talking about X, he's saying a lot of the same things. So, hey, if you see it, you got to say it. And if you got a first ballot Hall of Famer, praising your game, a guy who played kind of the same position, maybe a slightly differently in a different way, but he recognizes the game. I think we see it as well. This is a great shot here pregame. You see a professional doing professional things, guys locked in, not just kind of half-assing it through warmups. He's dead on serious today. And it would not shock me if he got a pick today. I mean, at this point, we're almost used to it, right? You're almost expecting it. It's like, when is it going to come? Not, is it going to come? So shout out to X, man. He's firing on all cylinders, and you can't tell me that he's not got the rest of that secondary hyped up too. I mean, everybody back there is playing well this year. Certainly guys that, maybe didn't look so hot last year that are on this team, they've stepped their game up too. You can tell the impact that the McKinney signing has had on this secondary right away. So go Pack, go.
Yeah, definitely. So Turtles in the chat says Troy Polamalu was the last safety to win Defensive Player of the Year with 7 interceptions that year. And what's crazy is the year that Charles Woodson won Defensive Player of the Year, I think he had 9. So McKinney is on pace to even surpass Charles Woodson's year. Now, we'll see. Obviously, there's a lot of football left, but, man, like I said, the run he started on is just absolutely epic. If you guys would take a quick second, hit that like button for us. We appreciate y'all making us a part of your pregame festivities as we're closing in on kickoff, getting closer by the minute here. Really excited to see X go out there and play ball today for sure. Back to the PFF preview, Tim. Let's kind of look at the defensive side of the ball for the Packers. And when you look at the grades, man, you can look at it a couple of different ways, really. You can look at it like, okay, these guys are playing like absolute garbage. But you can also look at it like, hey, look, they're learning a new defense. They're trying to get that under their belt, all those things that we talk about. When we go to the base package, which they're going to be in 12 personnel quite a bit, they love running 12 personnel, between 12, 13, and 21 personnel, which is basically going to trigger our base 4-3, in which you see right here on the screen. They're in that right at 50% of the time. So we should see our base defense 50% of the time today, unless they change something up. And we'll kind of see how it shakes out, obviously. But when we look at their offensive line, playing pretty sharp here is Paris Johnson Jr., not highest graded tackle at 82.6. Then you've got at left guard Brown, 61.9. Froholt playing pretty high-level football there at the center position at 73.3. Then you got Cologne, 48.1 at right guard. That's probably going to be the weak link. And then you got Beecham at right tackle, 63.7. So at tight end, you got Trey McBride. He's the 7th highest graded tight end in the league right now at a 72.9. He pretty much does everything pretty well. Run blocking grades a 62.9, not bad for a tight end. Receiving grade 73.0. You see he's starting to creep up on his career high only been in the league for 3 years now. This is his third year, but in 2023, last year, he was a 76.3 overall grade on the year. Now, when you look at their other tight end, Higgins, pretty solid too, man. Offensive grade 64.5, receiving grade 64.9, run blocking grade of 60.9 there. Kyler Murray, we talked about, man, he's the 5th highest graded quarterback in the league right now at 81.9. His passer grade is a 78.0. That's 6th best in the league. He's the 4th best quarterback when it comes to running grade, according to PFF, at a 75.6. Playing pretty good ball there for Kyler Murray. Then you've got our boy James Conner having another solid year. Last year, he was at 89.2, 4th highest graded running back in the league. This year, he's 15th at 76.8. We could turn on the tape for him if you want to and see a couple clips, but man, he just plays good, fundamentally sound football. Running grade 76.3, not horrible in the passing game, at a 63.8 receiving grade. So you got to watch out for James Conner today as well. Now, when it comes to our front four in this 4-3, Preston Smith, 66.7. You got TJ Slayton, a 48.9 currently. This is according to PFF. It isn't everything, guys. It's just another metric we can use. Kenny Clark, 54.8. Rashawn Gary, 58.9. What you see across that defensive front is things that PFF is not picking up. And that's how they're scheming this defensive line to play currently. They're not just pinning their ears back and going. So there may be times it looks like, oh, nope, he didn't win that rush. When they're really sliding side to side, you could tell they're kind of running run stunts, and they're also looking to take throwing lanes away as well as the scrambling ability of the quarterback. So you can't put all your stock in that PFF grade. We've talked about it. When we show it on tape, you can kind of see what we're talking about with the TE stunts, the ET stunts, some of the scrapes, what you're looking to do with that defensive line. Like, notice Cooper's a 72.1 now, right, at linebacker, and they've got him listed as the Sam here. One of the reasons why he's graded so high is that pass rush grade, right? I'm sure it's through the roof. Look at this, 90.6. Yep. Well, when you look at the pass rush, think about that play last week where he hit home with the scrape. When you look at that scrape, what did he do that was so phenomenal outside of his ability to break on the quarterback really, really fast? You basically had the tackle and the end force double teams on them as they rushed horizontally to slide that whole offensive line to Matt Stafford's left. So Edan Cooper could be a free rusher. That's what I mean by you've got to understand what you're looking at with the grades, and you couple that with the tape. If you're just a spreadsheet guy and all you're going to do is look at the grades, look at the stats, and not look at the tape, it's going to be very misleading.
You'll miss if you're a spreadsheet guy, you wouldn't see Edan Cooper executing that scrape to perfection by not getting too wide and basically staying right along his teammates there and just appearing out of nowhere around that edge. That's exactly how you want to run those scrapes when you're, like you said, when your D lineman is doing their job. You know, it's easy to be a fan and see something like that and think that, oh, these guys are, you know, they're missing their rush lanes. It's like you don't realize a lot of these things are by design, and that you're going to work in tandem to free up another rusher. And Edan Cooper is an absolute monster coming around that corner. So looking forward to seeing more of that today.
Definitely. Chris C in the chat. Good to see you in here, sir. He says, we contained Hurts and AR pretty good. We really did, man. And you could see we were playing a little bit of a contained game against Sam Darnold, too, with the Vikings. And then lo and behold, when you start to pin your ears back, he rushes out for that third down and picks up the first down with his legs. You got to be really, really, really gap sound when it comes to rushing the quarterback and understanding what you're trying to do, basically in specific situations, right? Like, what's the down and distance? What's the play call behind you? Where are the throwing lane weak spots for that defensive call? And how do you clog up those throwing lanes with the defensive line, moving side to side occasionally? There's going to be times that I think we pin our ears back and go after Murray today. I just think that you're going to try to get a lead before you do that. Think of the Titans game, right? With the Titans game, that's exactly what happened. They were playing a little bit conservative right out of the gate. And then, lo and behold, Packers jump up to an early lead. Now you turn the dogs loose because you're kind of making them play one-dimensional. I don't know why they do it, Tim. I disagree with LaFleur when he does it. But, man, I'd be sitting here. It would be egotistical for me to go, these NFL coaches don't know what they're doing, getting away from the run as early as they do. But some of these guys, it just seems like they bail on the run so early, and now you're forced to pass, and now the defense has got you where they want you, man.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And it's you know, I don't want to be the guy, just like you don't want to be the guy standing out here, you know, claiming to know more than an NFL head coach who's making millions of dollars a year to coach our franchise. But I agree. I've always said that about Matt LaFleur since he got here, that I felt like we find success in the run game and then he gets away from it. Now, that could be based on what they're seeing out there on their Surface tablets, and they're getting fresh info throughout the game. If they see holes in a secondary, or they see a defense, stepping up, to maybe load the box, or they want to account for that run a little more, of course, a guy like Matt LaFleur is going to start dialing up passes. I mean, that's what his offense is all about, right? And, it's not a surprise at all. I just hope we have a more balanced attack, like you said, Clayton. I don't think we're going to run all day, but I hope we run enough, certainly on early downs.
Yeah. Shout out to Christopher Coleman. I think that's who we just had his chat up on Twitter. He tagged me in a video from Fox Sports NFL. We got to be careful with that stuff, because the TV networks, if you show a tweet that's got even just a 3-second clip on it that's from a network, sometimes it'll get flagged as copyright. So we got to be really cautious with that. But what he tagged me in here, Tim, is I'll just describe it to y'all. Fox Sports NFL has Green Bay Packers wide receiver Bo Melton and his brother Arizona Cardinals cornerback Max Melton will play each other today at Lambeau Field. His family is in attendance wearing these split jerseys to support both players. So looks like the front of the jersey is a Packers jersey. The back of it is a Cardinals jersey. Kind of cool how they did that, man. So,
I love it.
Yeah, little conflict there. And I guarantee you how that goes, Tim, is if one team jumps out to an early lead, right, then they're rooting against that team all of a sudden, right? For the other one to get back. And then the second that team takes the lead, you immediately switch back. You just want it to be a close game, obviously. It'd be cool if they do get matched up today, though. I don't know if it'll happen, but
that would be something to see. I mean, we talked about it during the draft season, right? We were kind of holding on to hope that maybe Max Melton would end up in the green and gold, and those guys could, go to work against each other and practice every week. But today we might get a glimmer of it, take a little glimpse at the Melton brothers going one-on-one. Never know.
Yeah. Daryl in the chat says, Coop is explosive. Talking about Edan Cooper. It makes big plays for sure. He really does, man. And the big thing that me and Tim have been talking about here lately is the snap count. Check it out. Week 1, right, had a total of 11 snaps. Week 2, it dropped to 7 snaps. Week 3, it jumps to 18. Week 4, 21. And then last week, career high 30 snaps. He's on his way. On his way to getting on the field, damn near every snap. And here's the thing, man. Like there's gonna come a time where there's a decision to be made, right? And that decision is going to be, is it Quay Walker, Edan Cooper as your Mike linebacker? And you probably won't. I'm going to try to guard my words carefully here, but if Quay doesn't take that next step as he approaches his contract year, they'll probably shift the focus to Edan Cooper needs to be our green dot Mike. I'm not saying it's going to happen this year, but you should start to get the best version of Quay Walker. Not that he hasn't been trying. Obviously, we know that dude is as hard a worker as anybody in the league. Edan Cooper stepping up his game like this is going to do nothing but lift Quay Walker as well, right? The old saying, a rising tide raises all ships. Like that's what you're going to see with that. Either Quay is going to raise to that level as well, and you're going to have a great linebacker tandem, or we're going to see that, all right, maybe Quay isn't the guy moving forward. But Edan Cooper definitely earning more snaps. Tim, do you think he gets more than 30 snaps today, or do you think might be right around the same there with the 30?
I think he's going to get more. I really do. That's what my gut's telling me. I mean, what we've seen with him is, yeah, he's a little raw. He's a rookie. But Edan Cooper has just, I mean, if you look up linebacker in the dictionary, I mean, this guy's picture should be there. I mean, he's a natural at the position. We talked about his FBI. We talked about that during camp, him sniffing out plays and just having a great eye for the game, great ear for the game, great feel for the game. And then you combine that with, the raw athletic ability this guy has. He's built 6'3", 230. I mean, this is the type of dude you want back there. And I agree 100% with your statement that, him getting more snaps and him playing at a high level, it's going to pick everyone up. It's going to pick, Quay up. It's going to pick McDuffie up. These guys are going to all play a little bit better, step their game up. And it's not like it's a competition thing or, hey, this guy's going to try and take my job. I don't think it's that. I think, one guy plays good, the next guy plays better, the guy after that plays better than that, and before you know it, we've got a defense that's out there getting after it, and these guys are picking each other up. And young players like Edan Cooper they certainly fit that mold. We see it in the secondary with Javon Bullard, stepping up and making great plays. These guys pick each other up, so it's fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. So it looks like on Twitter, Rob Reichel tweeted out, the rain at Lambeau has stopped for now. It was pretty heavy from about 10:30 to 10:50 a.m. It's supposed to intensify again around 11:30 a.m., so right before kickoff, obviously. I've got a shot of the radar here, man. Let's geek out here. I know we were talking Edan Cooper. Let's drop that down for just a second, and let's see if we can get this radar up there. I want you guys to see it. It looking kind of nasty here in the area, Tim, as you can see, man. This is we can get the not gonna be able to get the ads off. That's all right though. But you can kind of see in and around Green Bay, man. It's definitely going to pick up here shortly. If we roll, can we roll that together? I guess we can't. Oh boy, this is all out of whack here. Look at this. Let's zoom in on Tim's house. You want to?
Let's not do that.
But you can see it's definitely pushing into the area, man. Right around kickoff, we should see heavy rain is what it's looking like, Tim. Hopefully that lightning stays to the north there, so we don't get any kind of delay. All right.
Exactly, and I can tell you, I mean, things move pretty quick up here. Once they kind of hit the Bay Area, they start swirling around and going out over the lake. So it's going to be pockets, right? We're probably going to see, a little let up, and then we'll see some downpour. As long as the severe stuff stays away, that's a good sign. So it'll be a sloppy one out there. Hope everyone's got their ponchos that's going to the game.
Exactly right. All right, so we talked about Coop, man, and it's cool to see him kind of overtake Wilson there at that other linebacker spot. And you see Quay Walker, 48.5, Isaiah McDuffie, 52.6. Cooper definitely leading the way there at the linebacker position. Now, obviously, we get Jaire Alexander back. He's a 73.6 now. He's the 17th highest graded corner. Many people think he's going to be following Marvin Harrison Jr. around. We'll see. But we'll kind of keep an eye on that. I don't think they'll do it the entire game. Hopefully they don't do it. That's just my opinion. And you guys are saying, Clayton, how can you say that everyone has wanted Jaire to follow the number one receiver? It's happened twice this year, guys. It happened against the Eagles, and he got absolutely cooked. You could tell he wasn't comfortable. That's when A.J. Brown went off, and obviously Eagles get that win. Now, he followed someone else, or no, we followed what was it? Against the Vikings, he was out. And we had we had bracket coverage on Justin Jefferson in that game, right?
We did, and we saw some one-on-one with Keyshawn in that game.
I'm trying to think. I feel like there was another game that we played where Jaire followed the number one receiver. Let me go to the schedule here just as a quick refresher and see if it triggers my memory here. So, all right, we played the Eagles week 1. Week 2 was the Colts. He didn't follow week 3 is what it was. They said that he followed Calvin Ridley around for a little bit. If you guys remember, he got the pick 6 on the right sideline from the offense's perspective. Normally, Ja was lining up on the left last year predominantly, so he definitely followed Ridley a little bit in that game with the pick 6. But again, they talked about the statistics there. Ja not having a great year in man coverage. I don't think anybody on the Packers really is, but how do you feel about it, Tim? Would you rather him follow? Am I the get off my lawn guy saying I don't want to see Jaire follow the number one receiver? Or do you think they'll go a different route here, man?
I'd like both. I'd like to see it situationally. I don't think there's anything wrong situationally with putting Ja on your number one receiver, but to think that that's going to be a blanket approach all day long, that's a recipe for disaster. And that's not a knock on Jaire. It's just how defenses work now in the NFL. I mean, those were the good old days, right? Where you just put your number one on their number one and you let them play man all day long. I don't think that's the approach. So I don't see anything wrong with dialing it up once in a while, especially because we know Ja's game. He loves that. He loves to break off and jump a route, try and make a play. I'm all for it, but I would like to see some zone most of the day against Kyler Murray. Keep him in that pocket.
Keep your eyes on him the whole game, right?
Yep.
That should be the goal here. So they've still got Bullard as the starting safety opposite Xavier McKinney. Bullard's a 51.9. Xavier McKinney is the highest graded safety in the league currently. We talked about it already earlier in the week. I think Evan Williams is somewhere between 8 and 10. So maybe they're a little bit behind the 8 ball here as far as showing Bullard as a starter. I personally hope they give Evan Williams a shot to play the large majority of the snaps at the safety opposite of Xavier McKinney today. Who knows if they will, though, right? We'll find out soon enough for sure. So, yeah, that's how your safety room looks there. At the cornerback position, Stokes continues to struggle, 52.8. I think you'll probably see Valentine play over him today. I kind of hope that's the case anyway, but I'm not trying to dog Stokes too much, but it does kind of feel like Valentine is just as good as Stokes at this point in their career. And if that's the case, then what I think you should probably do is have Valentine play in place of Stokes. That way you're continuing to progress Valentine in the direction of taking over that cornerback spot next year if you choose to not sign Stokes.
I think that's a great point because they already, made it clear they're not picking up the option on Stokes. And we know this is a year for him to show that he can play and that he belongs. I think 5 games into the season, the Packers have given him every opportunity to do that. And he's looked good at times. We can't gloss over that fact. Stokes has played a couple good ball games for us this year, but he's been up and down at best. So I think you're right. I think this might be the beginning of the time of the year when we start to see, like you said, Valentine being peppered in there a little more, or perhaps, like we saw last week, perhaps Bullard going to the slot, Keyshawn going to the boundary, and then Evan Williams going back there at safety as another alternative. But we'll see. I think Stokes certainly earned the right to try and play his way back onto this team as a starter. I just don't know if the execution's there for where we want it. But we'll have to see. It's still relatively early in the season, but I'm with you, Clayton. I think we'll start to slowly. I don't think it's going to be a sudden change. I don't think they're just going to pull Stokes out of the lineup, but I do think you'll start to see a lot more Valentine and, even Corey Valentine pepper.
I could see that too, for sure. All right, let's see here. Chris C in the chat says Murray has 9.5-inch hands and Love has 10.5-inch hands. I think that does matter, man, when you're playing in the rain. It really does. Now the caveat to that too is, again, if you see it, you got to say it. The only game I can really recall where there was significant rainfall with Jordan Love at quarterback for the Packers was that 49ers game. And listen, it came a downpour on that final drive for Jordan Love and the Packers offense. Now, is that a good depiction of how he's going to play with a wet ball? I don't know, because again, I don't care what your hand size is. If it's raining that hard, Tim, it's going to affect the way you throw the football and your decision making too. That's the thing people don't take into consideration is like, well, that ball spiraled there. It didn't have any effect on him throwing the football. That could be the case, but mentally, you think those guys aren't thinking about that when they take that snap and they're trying to go through read 1, 2, or looking high, low, or whatever the process may be for them, or a read option. You think in the back of their mind, there's not a slight thought of how wet's this ball? Let me get a good grip, right?
Yeah.
Those are things we don't think about because we're sitting at home eating Cheetos on the couch. Like, what the hell is his problem? Why can't he throw that ball in the rain?
Or even the other end of the spectrum. Is this receiver going to hang on to this dart that I'm throwing, as hard as I can? I'm spinning it. Elements be damned. Is it gonna stick in his hands when I throw him that quick out? Those are things that go through your mind regardless of, the hand size. I see Chris C has this up in the chat. Yeah, we know, J Love is slightly bigger hands over that football than Kyler Murray. I still think it's going to be an issue for both of them when it comes to passing in the elements. And you just got to kind of take it as it comes, one play at a time. Weather changes, things change. We could definitely see this could be a game with, the rain kind of stopping and starting periodically throughout the game. You could see guys picking their spots, the minute we get some, rain clouds moving out of the area. Maybe it's not raining as much. Now's the time to start throwing it. Maybe when the rain comes down again, we lean on the run a little bit. You're going to see the game plan kind of evolve throughout this game today, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too. Fred McFarlane in the chat said, anyone know when Marshon Lloyd is due to return? Oh, man. Trying to think, when did he go out? Did he go out after week 1, Tim? Am I thinking right, man?
I think it was 2.
Was it 2?
So 4-week IR, right?
Yeah, so 1, 2.
After this week.
He should be. Yeah, should be back.
Be available for the Texans game.
Yeah, he definitely was. He was definitely already on IR for the Titans game. I do know that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he should be back next week, regardless. So there you go. I'm excited to see him too, man. I know LaFleur thought really highly of him. Kept referring to him as a little rocket in the backfield, right? Just got that quick burst that sometimes we don't talk enough about for sure. But yeah, hopefully it's next week. That's what I would imagine, Fred, unless he has a setback, right? 2-0 for this in the chat says Malik Willis didn't throw an easy touchdown because Myers threw up on the ball. Weather matters. That Josh Myers tweet, man. The fact that I happened to be not looking at the chart and staring at the screen when it happened, I went, wait a minute. So I videoed it and tweeted it out. That thing ran. Oh my God. It was in Sports Illustrated article and everything. Like, I just happened to look down and go, did he really just puke? Did I just see that?
Hey, shout out to Malik Willis for just taking the snap and not just like putting his hands up and we got a live ball on the ground because it had puke all over it.
And he comes over to the sideline and Matt LaFleur says, why didn't you throw that pass on third down? He went, Josh threw up on the ball. Matt looks at him like, oh, okay, yeah, I would. Yeah.
And then Malik looked over at the equipment guy and was like, hey, you got any of them gloves over there?
Exactly, man. All right, let's see here. As far as on offense, one thing I wanted to point out, we've talked about Kyler Murray. We've talked about James Conner. Dortch, this is the guy right here that is going to be their motion guy. You notice he's only 5'7", 175 pounds. When I watched the tape and I watched every snap of their last two games, the thing you notice about Greg Dortch, a lot of pre-snap motion, and they will throw him back there in a pony package. Okay, so they'll orbit motion him. They'll do things like that with him. It's not that he's like this outstanding wide receiver, but he's kind of their trick pony. He's the dude moving all over the place. Most of the time, Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Sr. is too old to play. Well, he might not be too old to play, but they've got him lined up in the Z here on PFF. He actually has been playing X the majority of the time. All right, so that's opposite the tight end on the line of scrimmage. He's kind of that boundary guy. Now, we did see in a couple occasions where they would have Dortch in the slot, and then they would pre-snap motion him outside, which would technically make Marvin Harrison the slot inside, and they would like to run those slot fades out of that, right? We've seen that snag concept, which is basically the number one runs a shallow cross or a drag, the number two runs a go fade route. All right, so they really like to work that. The other thing that stood out to me and Tim when we watched the tape on Marvin Harrison Jr. as well was him running a lot of out routes, right? A lot of outs, a lot of hitches, things like that. So he's kind of working the boundary, using that big body to shield off the cornerback, and he's also got really good hands. Now, his weak spot is he doesn't create a whole lot of separation, right? I want to say he was close to the bottom of the league in yards of separation on routes, the routes that he's running. So take that for what it is. That could mean, just like we said earlier, that could mean he's not good at that. That could also mean he's due to break out.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, it could mean he's a rookie who's, transitioning from college defenses to NFL defenses. So you're probably not seeing the same degree of separation you saw with him at the Ohio State, right?
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Chris C. said Bo Melton is one of the captains today. That's awesome.
Let's go. Get busy, Bo. Let's go.
Might be a big day for old Bo. I think they're going to have a player or two designed to go to him. Now, whether or not the Reed sends the ball there, that's to be determined. But I think they will try to get him involved and get him involved very early here today. So
I hope he didn't have too many cheese curds before the game.
Cheese curds make my stomach hurt all the time, but I do eat them though.
He gonna eat them regardless, Tim. It don't matter if it makes your stomach hurt, man. How that goes. So let's see here. Just refreshing the weather forecast real quick. Yeah, the rain is really closed in on Green Bay now. If I'm trying to figure out here, they've got this kind of – there we go. Let's see if it'll allow me. So according to the radar in Green Bay, it's not going to move out till 2:23 my time. So you're looking at 1:20 your time there at Lambeau. So you're going to get a full hour of pretty heavy rain, it looks like. So that'll probably take us about halfway through the second quarter, maybe a few minutes into the second quarter, depending on obviously the flow of the game, right?
Yep. Protect the football. Protect the football. We can't. I know our defense is gonna show up today. Offensively, we've got to keep it all in front of us and protect that football. We cannot turn the ball over today. Got to protect the football.
Yeah, no doubt, man. All right. Anything else, Tim, as we're closing in on an hour here, man? I know we got before kickoff, we're just 27, roughly, I don't know, 30 minutes away from kickoff here. 32 minutes away from I think it's a 105 kickoff my time. So Anything else, man? Anything else you want to
just a message from head coach Tupac LaFleur.
No block, no rock.
Moral of the story today, get out there. block.
Sir. Yes, sir. Packers, this came in from Zach Cruz on Twitter, said the Packers made linebacker Quay Walker a captain today. This is a huge game for him, facing a tackle-breaking running back, super athletic and elusive quarterback. Walker needs to play his best game of the season. So Quay is a captain. It looks like those captains are, like we said, wide receiver Bo Melton, linebacker Quay Walker, and offensive lineman Zach Tom. Those are your captains today. So guys, ball out. Matt
I
Schneider.
love that. I love what that says about our team, right? They give Quay the captaincy today. They know he's going to have his hands full. We know that the run fit is something that Quay has struggled with. So they're putting it all out there and they're trusting him. They're saying, go out there. We believe in you. Go out and lead these boys today. So I love to see it. Big game for Quay coming.
Definitely. If you guys would please hit that like button for us, help boost the algae. If you like this kind of content, we go live every single day, 365 days a year, sometimes multiple times a day. If you follow the Packers, make sure you sub to the channel. We really appreciate y'all making us part of your pregame. Matt Schneiden tweeted out, Packers base defense in warm-ups has Jaire Alexander and Keyshawn Nixon at outside corner, Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams at safety. That probably means Javon Bullard is at the nickel. So I'm kind of digging that, man. I'm digging.
Guess we got our answer about Stokes, huh?
Yeah, right. And obviously they have a lot more faith in Keyshawn than they do Carrington currently at the moment. So that's going to be really interesting, man. We get to see some more Evan Williams. I want to see Evan Williams' second interception of the year. I think he got that one. It was on the what was it on, Tim? That was trying to think. It was a Hail Mary.
That sealed the game for us last week for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to seeing him come down in the box when Mr. Xbox there tries to run. Looking forward to seeing, for all we talk about, we know Javon Bullard's probably the hardest hitter in that secondary, but let me tell you, Evan Williams has got some pop to his game as well. And we've seen him lay more than a few guys out. So I'm looking forward to seeing him out there today for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Mike Berry says, go Pack, go. We got Michael says, go Pack, go. Fred McFarley says, thanks, Clayton and Tim. No, thank you, buddy. We appreciate it, man. Thank you for hanging out with us. Ben Holden says, wow, Williams is quick. Yes, sir, he is. Quick shout out to the Super Chat today. Aaron Rogers, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you taking time away from the Jets facility to give us a Super Chat. You are awesome. And then Ballroom Blitz with the Super Chat as well. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you there. Tim, let's go grab a snack, cold drink, get ready to sit in and chart this game, man. Anything else you got?
Yeah, Pack by 1,000. Let's go. Go Pack, go. We got to get the dub today. Protect 1265. It's going to be a good game. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. I think we get the win today. Yeah.
All right, it's going to be fun, man. Anything can happen, baby, any given Sunday, obviously. Nick McSwain says, thanks for the terrible podcast, guys. JK, appreciate y'all. And then Holmes sums it up and says, this show sucks. Yes, sir, it does. It sucks bad. But thank you, guys. Seriously, this was a lot of fun, man. Really appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Help me out here, Tim.
For those of you listening on the pod,
thank you for making us part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. Let's go get this dub. Go Pack, go.